Hello and welcome back everyone. Happy New Year's. In this video we'll be looking at how we can manipulate the DOM, and the DOM is basically the document object model. And so what that just stands for is the content on your page, or the correct definition is the DOM is a programming interface for web documents, which is just the structure of your web page. So I'll be seeing how we can manipulate the DOM using JavaScript, how I can select different objects or elements on our page in different ways. So let's get into that now. So now in our JavaScript, we've seen how we can select elements by their IDs, but now there are multiple other ways to select elements in JavaScript. Now the first one is the query selector. So for this, let's create some paragraph tags. So I can just copy all this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So let's check our page and refresh. Okay, so now we have our text here. Now if we want to select all elements in this, all elements that start with a P, that is a P tag in our page, all we have to do is to come here and say documents dot query selector all, then just pass in the tag name P. Or if you want to select by class names, you just add dots, then whatever the class name is. So, and there's no need to select by IDs because IDs are always meant to be unique, so you just use the get element by ID. So let's select all our paragraph tags, and we can just set this to be a variable. So we haven't looked at variables yet, but we'll look at it in further videos. So to set a variable, we just use the constant, then this can name to whatever you want. I'll name it paragraphs. And now for us to actually see what this is, we'll log to our console. So now to log anything to your developer console, all you need to do is add the console.log, then the brackets, you put in whatever variable you want to see on the developer console. So let's refresh this now and inspect. So we'll head over to our console, we should see this. So we have a node list of 7 items, and those are the 7 paragraphs we have here. So 1, which is this, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So those are each of the paragraph tags. So now let's say we give this, some of this, a class name. So class name of paragraph. Then we can come over here and just add that dot and the paragraph, and I'll select all elements in this document that has the paragraph class name. So let's check that out, and as you can see we have 4 elements here, which are 1, 3, 5, and 6. And to verify, we have 1, 3, 5, and 7. So those are all elements that have the paragraph tag. Now let's say we want to manipulate these elements. Now let's give them a default styling. So let's say the style, we just set it to display none, so we don't want them to be displayed on the page on initial load. And let's say that when our button is clicked, which is this, we want to make these paragraphs visible. So let's set this to the top of our page so we can access this in the click listener for the button. Now all we can do is, this paragraph is an array, so there's something called an arrays in JavaScript. I'll be looking at that, but just for an example of how we can manipulate these elements, I'll just show you how we can do that and iterate over arrays. So what we do is we first type in the paragraph, then for each Now, just as it says, it takes each paragraph inside this array individually, so you can just say item, can name it whatever you want. Then we open up the curly braces after our arrow. Now what we can do is select that item, so do item dot class list. So the class list is how we access the class names of our elements, but for this we want to access the styling. So for that we are going to do item dot style, then dot display. So the CSS variable, the CSS property that we're trying to change is the display property, and we'll set that from none to block. Then we'll save this and go back and refresh. You should see that we don't have those elements visible, so 1, 3 and 7 are gone. But when we click this button, we should see those elements appear. And so let's test it out, and that is it. And also our text here changed. So we've selected multiple elements in our page and mutated them and just changed how, and just manipulated the document object model. So that's basically how we can manipulate our DOM. It's just basically selecting elements and changing properties or behaviors or the element as a whole. So that will be it for this video, and in our next video we'll be looking at variables in JavaScript. So that will be all, and bye for now.